Hi everybody, it is Tuesday here at Witches of the Moon, and this week we are doing a deity focus. The deity that I chose to focus on and tell you guys a little bit about is Thor. Thor is a Norse god, son of Odin, and he is the god of thunder. He is the god that I work with. I have an altar dedicated to Thor. He is a protector of not only gods but people. He is a fertility guide and not just for like for children, but he's a fertility god. A lot of people call on him for their crops, to make their crops plentiful, and that kind of thing. I'm not going to go too deep into the history of Thor. What I'm going to do is just kind of share a lot of maybe his correspondences, and just tell you a little bit about how I work with Thor, without getting too personal, because I feel like my relationship with him is very personal. But he is, a lot of people, when they think of Thor, and this is how this happened for me, when I first started to come back down this path and decided that I was going to really embrace who I was. I had a list of deities that I really wanted to learn about. I chose Thor first because, being a big fan of comics, I wanted to know the differences. You know, a lot of people, when you say Thor, they automatically think comic book Thor, and you know, that's always depicted as, you know, a very strong and handsome blonde-haired, blue-eyed man, and Thor was not blonde. Thor was a redhead, very fiery looking. And that was one of the first differences that I noticed. It was really intriguing to me. He was a big, burly man. I wouldn't say he was pretty. You know, he was this big man. So when I started to study about Thor, I began to dream about Thor and realized that nothing just kind of happens by chance. It was almost like he was waiting for me to decide that I was going to, because the dream was just very much, I've been here, you know, I was just waiting for you to kind of say, hey, you know, it was that kind of a feeling. And so I have a pendant of Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, that I wear. A lot of the times, I think I've worn it in a couple videos. I don't know if I've worn it on any videos in this channel, but I think there's a couple videos that have me wearing that pendant. I'm gonna cut right into, I'm really wiped out. The holidays have wiped me out. We had 3 days of holiday travel, and I am exhausted. So that's why I sound so, ugh. I think I need to curl up with my Oreos and go back to my binge watching. But anyway, so what I'm going to do now is list a couple of the correspondences, and then I'm going to just tell you a little bit more about a few of the things that I do to honor Thor. If you are going to work with Thor, his areas would be agriculture, which is, like I said, the crops and things like that. Travel. A lot of the times he traveled in a chariot pulled by 2 goats. And if I am going a long distance, I definitely will wear my pendant, my Mjolnir pendant. And I travel with carnelian, which is, I actually have carnelian in my car as a totem for good luck while traveling. Personal strength, protection, things like that. Justice, any kind of, because Thor was a god for the people, I would call on him when there was something pertaining to someone needing to have a certain amount of justice brought to a situation. His day is Thursday. That is considered Thor's day. So it's best to work. I don't necessarily just say I always work with him on Thursday, but if it's something that I feel really needs a little kick, I will wait until Thursday. The incense that I use, this is my Book of Shadows, by the way. Incense that I use is dragon's blood. I've made a couple of combinations with some oak, and because that's one of his correspondences is oak. When doing a ritual with Thor, their offerings you can offer is any kind of beer or ale, meat. I do bread. I'm not a big fan of beer, so I prefer bread or meat. Like I said, not a big beer drinker. Another one of his symbols, of course, you've got the hammer, which is lightning, thunder. I do like to take some time out when we have a storm out to go out and just kind of stand in it for a few minutes and just feel that energy, and take a few minutes with him then to really feel that. We had an oak tree in the backyard of my old house. I'm sorry, in the front yard of my old house that I was really attached to, and the irony was it got destroyed in a thunderstorm. But, so, you know, oak, and you can use oak surely as an offering, some kind of, whether it be an oak incense that you've made or something along those lines. Some of the stones that I used, carnelian is a stone I was always drawn to. So when I found out that that was one of his stones, it made a lot of sense to me as to why I was drawn to it. It was the same thing with Rhiannon, where I was always drawn to Moonstone, and that is the stone that I associate with her and keep with me to honor her all the time. But Adventurine is another one. Obsidian is one. Some animals associated with Thor, of course, the goats, like I said. The one reading I had said eagles and bears as well. Colors, I use red a lot, red and orange, if I'm going to do candle work with Thor. One of the things that I absolutely do before I work with Thor, and it was before my first ritual I ever performed with him, was I did a bath. And the bath that I did combined a little bit of me and a little bit of him. I am very much connected to roses and things like that. Like, I'm very pulled to roses, and I like roses, I like the smell of roses, so I use that to associate with myself. I blended that and a little bit of sunflower and hyssop. I think that's how you say it, is hyssop, Hyssop, in a satchel, and put a carnelian stone in the satchel, and ran a bath with it. Just as a way to kind of cleanse myself before working with him. And then I wrote a ritual for Thor, and it was probably one of the most powerful experiences I've ever had. And like I said, working with him was really easy for me. Working with Rhiannon wasn't always so easy. I feel like she's one that will make you work really hard. She's there, but you have to work for what you're wanting. Whereas Thor is a little bit more forgiving, I feel. I feel like I've completely rambled on about this, and I'm not even sure I've even been any help. But those are just a few things that I do. Like I said, I do have a Thor altar, and let me see if I can show you that really quick. It's not lit right now because I haven't been in here today. But that is my altar for Thor. I've got 2 pieces of carnelian on it. A candle. This is where I burn my incense. I have a sun candle right here. And then I have a picture of him. And see, I don't know how good you can see that. But see, he's not pretty. You know, he's not Chris Hemsworth, so to speak. But he's, you know, he's big and he's very much protective. And this, you know, it's wood. I don't know what kind of wood this is, but I did a video on my channel explaining how I found that. But it took me forever to find an altar that I felt was appropriate for Thor. Because maybe I was more picky about it than he was, but it just didn't feel right. So, that is pretty much, that covers what I wanted to say. I'm hoping that it helped. I hope that everybody had a very nice holiday, and we will be back next week, and I will be back next week, hopefully with a little bit more energy and spunk. Maybe I should work on taking one of those baths now. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and blessed be.